Assalamualaikum everyone. Before we go through to the group assignment task today, I will summarize a little bit about chapter 7 on how to create a better presentations. In this chapter, first of all, they telling us to create the best presentation style, which is you need to choose the right format. If you're sharing a data, using structure slides with a clear bullets. If you are telling a story, then use a free form slides with a big photos. Next, focus on simplicity and clarity. Clarity. This is cruel, which is don't fill your slides with walls of text. Instead, prioritize visual element like charts or diagrams. It will make people easy to read. And finally is engage and support your audience, which is don't just talk at them. Use navigations slides to guide them and give them handout for the details. This is how this chapter telling you to enhance your impact. In short, pick a style, keep it in simple and support your audience. Now we're moving to our group assignment. Our objective is to demonstrate our understanding of effective presentation visuals. To do this, our group will discuss 4 key topics based on the course's material. We have prepared a short discussion to explain this concept in our own words. And our goal is to show you how exactly this design work in practice. So let's start with the first part.
I would like to explain about the difference of the slide strategy, which is the structure slide and the freeform slide. First of all, I'm going to explain about the structure slide. The structure slide usually follow a fixed format, which means every slide looks almost the same. For example, there is a title at the top, and below it we have bullet point. Second, this slide text driven, meaning most of the information is presented using words instead of visual like image or graphic. And the next one is the standardization. So all the slide looks consistent and organized. This makes the presentation look easy to follow. The advantage of the structured slide is they are easy to create. Since they use template, we can quickly prepare slide, especially when we have a lot of information. The second of advantage is clarity of detail. These slides are very useful when we want to present fact, data, or detailed point because the audience can read and take note easily. The advantage of the structured slide is what we call death by PowerPoint. This happens when slides are too full of text, causing the audience to read instead of listening to the presenter. Besides that, they can be visually monotonous. When every slide looks the same with bullet point, the audience may get bored and lost interest. Next, the second type of slide strategy, which is a free form slide. Free form slides have a flexible design, which means there is no fixed template. Each slide can look different depending on what message we want to deliver. They are visual driven. This means they focus more on image, chart, and key visuals with only a small amount of text. Usually, the slide is built around one main visual ideal instead of bullet point. The slide provide complementary information. The slide support the message visual while the presenter explain the detail verbally. The advantage of the free-form slide is high engagement. Because the slides are more visual and attractive, they can capture and hold the audience attention better. Second, they help the audience focus on the speaker. Since the slide don't contain too much text, the audience has to listen carefully to understand the full message. The another advantage is that free-form slides are great for storytelling. They are very effective for emotional impact and persuasive presentation. Now, the disadvantage of the free-form slide. They are creatively demanding. Designing these slides take more time, effort, and creativity because we need to choose the right visual and layout. Second, there is a risk of confusion. If the slides are not designed properly, the audience might not understand the message without the speaker explanation. This also makes them less suitable and handout.
Discussing color and emotion in design. Today, I want to share how color influences the way your audience think and feel during a presentation. Every color carries a hidden emotional message, and choosing the right one can make your slide far more powerful. First, red. Red is the color of passion, urgency, and confidence. It grabs attention instantly, which is why it's used in warning sign and sale banner. In a presentation, use red to highlight critical information, a key statistic, a deadline, or a bold call to action. But be careful, too much red can feel aggressive, so use it as an accent, not a base. Second, purple. Purple represents creativity, wisdom, and luxury. It's a color that feels both elegant and imaginative. In slide, purple works beautifully as a hidden color or theme color, especially for topic around innovation, education, or premium product. It gives your presentation a sense of deep and sophistication. Third, white. White is the color of simplicity, clarity, and clean lines. It creates breathing room on your slide, making content easier to read. Use white as your background color to let your other color like red and purple truly pop and stand out. What tell your audience this is clear, clean, and easy to follow.
Part 3, I will be discussing accessibility guideline. Accessibility is important because it ensures that everyone in the audience, including those with visual or hearing impairment, can clearly understand our presentation. Firstly, we should use high contrast color. This helps improve visibility and makes the text easy to read. Secondly, we need to use readable fonts and appropriate size such as sensory font like Arial or Calibri with a minimum size of 24-point size. Next, we should include alternative text or LLT text for image. This allows screen reader to describe the visual to users who cannot see them. Finally, keeping the layout simple and clean is essential to avoid overwhelming the audience and to maintain focus on the main message. In conclusion, apply this guideline will make our presentation more clear, inclusive, and effective for all audience.
Part 4. Let's discuss how to increase content readability. First, remember the slide is a guide, not the full story. It proposed and to help the audience understand the key point, not replay your speech. The second, apply the 4 by 5 rule. The main limits the slide to a maximum of 5 lines using and the short word. It made the information easy to read. The next is always keep a simple and clear. And a clear layout is much better for a professional presentation. The last point is use effective voice. Effective sentences are more direct and powerful.